Hello, sports fans. It is Wednesday, February the 13th, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Before we go around the league in the NHL, let's go through some scores of note from last night. Let's start with the college basketball. Michigan State at home just blasted Michigan last night. This game was never close. Michigan State flexed their muscles and just beat up on Michigan last night. Michigan State looked really good. Crowd was tremendous, all decked out in their white and green up there in East Lansing. Michigan State looked really good. We know Tom Izzo is a great coach. One thing I don't like about Michigan, I do like their team. Michigan has a lot of youth, so keep an eye on that. Not a lot of experience, and they just got the doors blown off of them last night. I mean, they were never in this game, so a nice job by Michigan State. The other game last night of note, Florida at home tattooed Kentucky. This was also a game that was never close. Florida looked really good last night. Really good home team with those rowdy reptiles in the crowd. Keep an eye on the Kentucky big man. He went out with a knee injury. Looks like it could be a serious injury. I hope it's not, because he could be the number one pick in the NBA draft. So keep your eyes on that injury. You should know more later on today. But Florida looked really good. This is not a vintage Kentucky team. They're not that great this year. They do have a lot of freshmen. So nice job by Florida last night. Over to your NHL. Carolina went into New Jersey and beat the Devils. The Rangers went up to Boston and beat the Bruins. Nice win by the Rangers. They almost blew a 3-0 lead last night in the third period. They're up 3-0. They're up 3-1 with 2 minutes to go. The Bruins pull their goalie. Bruins actually score twice, tie the game up. It goes to OT, then a shootout. Rangers win. Nice job by the Rangers. They almost let this one slip away. Ottawa shut out Buffalo. Ottawa's goaltending tremendous this year. Montreal, nice win in Tampa Bay. Nashville shuts out San Jose 1-0 in overtime. Anaheim goes into Chicago and beats the Blackhawks in a shootout. Anaheim's a surprise team in the NHL. I can't believe how well they're playing. Vancouver stays hot. They beat Minnesota at home. Over to your NBA, Toronto at home beat Denver. Rudy Gay with the game-winning shot. Rudy Gay's playing really well since he came over from Memphis. Miami at home beats Portland. Utah with a nice win at home against Oklahoma City. Not easy to do. Lakers at home beat Phoenix. Ho-hum. I'm not giving the Lakers too much credit for beating an awful Phoenix team. Kobe Bryant only 4 points last night. He was in one of his moods where he's like, okay, you guys take care of this game. You don't need me tonight. So Kobe only 4 points last night. They didn't need him. Phoenix is an awful team. Not giving the Lakers too much credit for that win. Houston goes into Golden State and beats the Warriors. What's going on with Golden State? They was a surprise team of basketball a few weeks ago. Now they can't win a game. Golden State's got to play better than this. Terrible loss. I mean, they have not been playing well at all. I thought they'd get a home win against Houston last night. Not the case. Golden State's starting to sink down. All right, so let's go over to your NHL. We're going to start in the Eastern Conference. We're going to go worst to first, 15-1. I'm going to give you wins, losses, overtime losses, and total points, and a little synopsis of each team. Remember, it's only half a season in the NHL, so it's going to go quick this year. All right. In the East, number 15, Washington Capitals, 4-8-1, 9 points. GM George McPhee the other day expressed his displeasure with this team. He was totally frustrated when he was talking to the media. Really was down on his Capital team. Capitals seem to have responded. They blow out Florida in Washington. Then last night, the second leg of the home and home in Florida, they're down 5-3 in the third period. They rally to win. Washington seems to have responded since McPhee ranted to the media. We'll see if they can keep it up. Right now, they're the most disappointing team in the NHL. They're still in last in the East. Last couple games showing some life. We'll keep an eye on them. Number 14, the Islanders. They're 4-7-1, 9 points. They've lost 5 straight games. The Islanders are in a free fall. Started off so nice this year, and here we go back to the usual Islander losing ways. I mean, they were 0-for-22 on the power play. Then they score 4 power play goals the other day, and they still lose. They outshot Buffalo 43-15 and still lost that game. What's going on with the Islanders? They're in a free fall. Got to pick up their play. Number 13, Florida. They are 4-6-2, 10 points. I just talked about them a second ago. They're blown out in Washington. Then last night they come home. They're up 5-3 in the third period against Washington. They blow the game. They lose. Terrible back-to-back losses by Florida. Number 12, Buffalo. They are 5-8-1, 11 points. My dad works side by side with a big Buffalo Sabre fan. So, Matt, this is for you. This is your little synopsis on the Sabres right now. You had a nice win against Montreal and the Islanders. Now you've come back and lost to Boston and Ottawa. Here's the deal with the Sabres. They have 38 goals. That's 9th best in the NHL. They can score. Vanek is scoring every which way possible. If the season was to end today, you can make the case Vanek is the MVP of the league. He's been that good. You can also make the case that if Vanek wasn't on the Sabres, they might not have any wins this year. He's been that important to him this year. So Buffalo is scoring. We love the goalie, Miller. We love him. They have a nice home ice advantage there in Buffalo. Nice arena. Here's the problem with Buffalo. 48 goals against. That's 3rd worst in the NHL. Have to tighten up your defense, Matt. I mean, they're just allowing too many goals. And where's the snarl and the nastiness from these Sabres? You could always count on Buffalo giving you like a nasty game. Like Boston. Boston has that snarl in their game. They're nasty. They hit you. Buffalo used to always be like that. Not so much this year. Need to get that nastiness back in the game. Need to tighten up on defense. So there's a lot of work to be done for the Sabres. Still early enough for them to make a run. They're only, 3 points out of a playoff spot. Got to tighten up on defense. So get a little snarl back in your game. So, Matt, you hang in there with those Sabres. All right, number 11, Winnipeg. 5-6-1, 11 points. Winnipeg has a big homestand coming up. They've already lost to Philly on it. They have Pitt and Boston coming up, so it's a big homestand, but a tough homestand. Winnipeg, some of the best fans in all of hockey. Number 10, the Philadelphia Flyers. They are 6-7-1, 13 points. They have a big 6-game trip coming up. Let's keep an eye on the Flyers because they are starting to play a little better after the terrible start. Number 9, Tampa Bay, 6-5-1, 13 points. What's going on with Tampa Bay? They've lost 5 straight games. They're 1 for 12 on the power play in those games. They were scoring left and right earlier in the season. Now they've hit a complete slump here. Tampa Bay in a free fall right now. Those would be your teams out of the playoffs right now. Here's your top 8, the teams that would be in the playoffs right now. Obviously, we have a long way to go, though. Number 8, the Rangers. They are 7-5, 14 points. Huge win in Boston last night. Not easy to do. Boston's one of the better teams in the NHL. Very hard place to play. Rangers almost blew a 3-0 lead. Almost coughed it up at the end. They do win, so they do get the job done last night. Rangers are starting to get there. I think the Rangers are going to be a contender this year, starting to get there. Number 7, Montreal, 7-4-1, 15 points. They lose a shootout to Buffalo. Then they get blown out by Toronto at home. And then they beat Tampa Bay on the road last night. So Montreal overall doing a nice job. You can't really complain too much about Montreal. They're doing a solid job this year. Number 6, Pittsburgh. They're 8-5, 16 points. They were playing so well, and then they ran into the Devils, and the Devils beat them at home and home. Devils just got them twice there, so Pittsburgh's still overall contender with Crosby and Malcolm. I mean, they're going to be right there at the end. Last 2 games, the Devils did get them, though. Number 5, Ottawa. They're 7-4-2, 16 points. Shut out by Winnipeg. Then they shut out Buffalo last night, so Ottawa up and down. I mean, they're shut out by Winnipeg, then they go shut out Buffalo. With Spezza out, Ottawa's going to have a tough time scoring goals. They need him back in the lineup because they need him for the offensive punch. I mean, they have to have him in the lineup. They don't score a lot without him, but Ottawa's goaltending has been tremendous. Anderson in goal has been lights out. Shut out Buffalo last night, so Ottawa's got 16 points in the 5 position. Number 4, Toronto. They're 8-5. They have 16 points, 6-1 on the road. Coach Carlisle really getting through these young players in Toronto. They're a surprise team this year. Didn't think Toronto was going to be as good as they are, but Coach Carlisle doing a nice job getting through the young players and a great road record for Toronto. Number 3, Carolina, 7-4-1, 15 points. They was my surprise pick of the year. Cam Ward playing well in net, 6-2-1 the last 9 games. Carolina's starting to play much better hockey. Number 2, Boston, 8-1-2. 18 points. To me, they're still the best team in the East, despite the loss to the Rangers last night. They do send Thomas to the Islanders. He's the goalie that was sitting out, the whole year to spend time with his family. They throw him out. They get him out to the Islanders. They don't want that distraction. They're going with their other goalies. Their other goalies are playing well. So Boston seems to have their goalie situation straightened out, even without Thomas. To me, Boston's the best team in the NHL, or one of the best teams in the NHL, probably the best team in the East. They are nasty, they are big, they are huge, they have a snarl to their game, they hit you, they're physical, Really like Boston's team, despite the loss to the Rangers last night. Number one right now, the New Jersey Devils. 8-2-3, 19 points, beat Pittsburgh in a home and home. Does anyone do a better job with their organization than the Devils? They had major losses last year. Brodor's like 120 years old, and here they are, the top points in the East again. Nobody does a better job running their organization than the New Jersey Devils. Here they are again at the top of the East. Unbelievable. You can never count them out. Over to your Western Conference. Number 15, the Colorado Avalanche. They need to put together some wins there. 4-6-1, 9 points. Colorado needs to put together some wins, my goodness, and they need to sign O'Reilly. I mean, they got to get him back in the lineup. He's a restricted free agent. Need him back in the lineup. I mean, Colorado and last in the West. When have you seen that? Number 14, Calgary Flames, 3-4-3, 9 points. They're just not good enough. They're just not good enough. They have a Ginla. They're just not a good team. You can't expect much from Calgary. They should rebuild now. Number 13, Columbus, 4-7-2, 10 points. GM is out. He just got fired. Here's the good news for Columbus. They're not going to make the playoffs. They'll battle here, but they usually lose. They have 3 first-round picks this year, and it's a deep NHL draft. That's the hope for Columbus. 3 first-round picks in a deep draft. So look forward to draft day, Columbus. Number 12, LA, 4-5-2, 10 points. Stanley Cup hangover. They looked dead against Detroit the other day. I mean, LA has a Stanley Cup hangover. We'll see if they can snap out of it. Number 11, Minnesota, 6-6-1, 13 points. Minnesota fans, stay patient. You have a 40% new roster, and you had no camp this year. You have to stay patient, Minnesota. I like the team. I like the top line. I like the additions they made to this team. Stay patient, Minnesota fans. I think it's going to turn around for you. Number 10, Edmonton, 5-5-3, 13 points. Beat Colorado, which snapped a 5-game winless streak. Edmonton is exciting. If you can say nothing other than they're exciting, I mean, Edmonton is an exciting team. May not be the best team. They do play some exciting hockey. Number 9, St. Louis, 6-5-1, 13 points. 0-3-1 their last 4. They are slumping St. Louis. I like St. Louis's team. What's going on here the last week or so? Playing terrible hockey. I still like their team. In a slump, though, right now. Those would be your teams out of the playoffs right now. Here are your top 8 as of right now. Number 8, Phoenix, 6-5-2. 14 points. Need more consistent play, Phoenix. I mean, they get pounded by Chicago, and then they come back and they shut out San Jose. So which Phoenix team is it? Is it the one that gets pounded by Chicago, or is it the one that shuts out San Jose? Need to be consistent, Phoenix. Number 7, Dallas, 7-5-1, 15 points. Jamie Benn's return really lifting Dallas. I mean, really lifting them. Yaga's still playing for Dallas. So Jamie Benn's return really igniting Dallas. They're really starting to do some things. Nice job by Dallas. Number 6, Detroit, 7-4-1, 15 points. Not great on D, this Detroit team. They're just not, but they're Detroit. You can never count them out. They're the Red Wings. It's Hockey Town. You can never count out the Red Wings. I don't love their defense, though. Number 5, Nashville, 6-3-4, 16 points. Nashville's got the exact opposite problem as Detroit. Nashville's got no offense. They're still getting points somehow. They have no offense. They can't score at all. Still collecting points somehow. They got to improve on their offense, though. Number 4, San Jose, 7-3-3, 17 points. 6-game road trip coming up. Keep an eye on that because San Jose's starting to slump a little bit. 0-3-2 their last 5. Keep an eye on them. They're starting to dive. Number 3, Vancouver, 8-2-2, 18 points. Red hot. Vancouver's on fire. Whether they put Luongo or Schneider in goal, they seem to win. Luongo, I guess, is still on the trading blocks, even though he's playing well. You do have Schneider there. Here's the thing with Vancouver. They can have the best regular season. They could not lose a game in the rest of the regular season. It doesn't matter. Vancouver's had these type of regular seasons before. Need to do it in the playoffs. Need to win a cup. This team has fallen short in previous years when they've had monster regular seasons. They've fallen short in the playoffs. Luongo's been bad in the playoffs. That's why he's been on the trading block the last year. Vancouver can do all they want in the regular season. Come playoff time, that's when it's going to count. Number 2, Anaheim, 9-2-1, 19 points. To me, they're the biggest shock in the NHL. They went into Chicago last night and beat the Blackhawks, who could be the best team in the NHL right now. Anaheim's got legitimately 4 good lines. How many teams can say that? They have 4 good lines. Anaheim Ducks never thought they'd be this good. Shocker of all the NHL. And number 1, Chicago, 10-0-3, 23 points despite the loss to Anaheim last night. To me, they're the best team in the NHL right now. Best penalty kill in the NHL right now. Top 5 in goals scored. Top 5 in goals against. Have not lost in regulation. Have not lost in regulation yet. They've played, what, 15 games already? Have not lost in regulation? I mean, that is just ridiculous. I mean, tremendous job by the Chicago Blackhawks. Right now, to me, they look like the best team in the NHL, doing a tremendous job. Offense, defense, goaltending. Really, really nice play by Chicago. They did lose to Anaheim last night, who's also playing well. Love what I'm seeing from Chicago in a great sports city. So that's kind of where you are right now in the NHL. Like I said, it's going to go quick this year. It's only half a season. So that's where we are right now in the NHL. Let's go Wednesday. What to watch tonight? Let's go to your college basketball tonight. You have Nebraska at number 1, Indiana. Indiana should destroy Nebraska tonight. I mean, that game's in Bloomington. I would be surprised if Nebraska was within 20-25 points of this game. Miami at Florida State. Interesting rivalry game there. We know it's big in football. Now I guess it's big in basketball. Miami's is up to number 3 in the poll, so that's a nice rivalry game there. Syracuse at UConn. Nice rivalry game there. You want to catch this game because this may be the last time these two teams play for a while. Remember, the conferences are being split up, so Syracuse at UConn tonight, Charlotte at Butler, Central Florida at Memphis, San Diego State at Colorado State. Colorado State's got a good home court, and here's the game to watch tonight. North Carolina at Duke in Durham with the Cameron Crazies. I know North Carolina isn't great this year. I don't care. Throw out the records. It's the best rivalry in all of college basketball. North Carolina at Duke at Cameron with the Cameron Crazies. Make sure you watch that game tonight. You won't be disappointed. All right, so that's your college basketball tonight. NHL, Ottawa, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Detroit, Dallas at Calgary tonight. Over to your NBA. You have Chicago at Boston, Denver at Brooklyn, Toronto at the Knicks, and Houston at the Clippers. So that's where you are with what to watch tonight. You have some stuff going on tonight. I'd really focus in on that North Carolina-Duke game. I mean, you can't miss that rivalry. Cannot miss that rival. That is a must-watch. Best rivalry in all of college basketball. Check out North Carolina-Duke tonight, please. I implore you, watch that game from Cameron. You won't be disappointed. All right, tomorrow we are going to go through our NBA State of the Union. We're going to go through the whole NBA. We'll cover some scores from tonight. We'll go over everything else that's going on in the sports world. You guys, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the games tonight, especially North Carolina-Duke from Cameron. I will talk to you tomorrow, Thursday. Take care.